Okay guys, this one just came out today. Lex Luthor clones Godzilla and causes absolute chaos in Metropolis. And we've got to talk about this, because what a way to start off the week than with some classic Superman goodness. That's right, it's Superman villains, but it's also a little bit of an Elseworld story. So I'm excited for this because, like always, it's going to be different. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future videos. Our story begins with the Justice League coming home after taking down a large group of villains who are looking to steal a spaceship that will take them off planet. But Superman is late. He was flying back with some kryptonite that he took off of Doomsday when they fought last. But then Brainiac intercepts him and tells Superman that he is needed at the Fortress of Solitude because there is a problem. But Superman's like, Brainiac, hold up. I need to drop this kryptonite off. But Brainiac's all, nope, get your butt over here right now. So Superman decides to listen to his homie and then cuts to the Fortress of Solitude, where we see that Brainiac has been busy creating several clones of General Zod. Except these ones are younger versions of Zod and Brainiac's, like, hey, Super, I've been trying to reach you, but you weren't answering my calls. Superman's all, yeah, sorry, it was an emergency. What's going on? Then Brainiac explains that he downloaded General Zod's DNA from the Phantom Zone where he has usually held made several clones and then sent them back through time using the time sphere in order to prevent the destruction of Krypton. Because according to Brainiac's calculations, Krypton could have survived if only their greatest warrior had lived to defend the planet. So that's why he created several clones of Zod and sent them back to different points in Kryptonian history. Except none of them worked. All of them caused more damage than good. Superman was like, well, this is not good. Then suddenly Brainiac gets a message from one of his drones, and he looks shocked after hearing the news. Brainiac then tells Superman that he needs to go to Metropolis immediately, that something terrible has happened. So Superman says goodbye to his buddy B, hops in his super cool new supersuit, by the way, and flies away. Meanwhile, in Metropolis, we see that Lex Luthor has decided to build a massive statue of himself. I'm not even kidding. It's actually happening, like he hired sculptors to build this thing, and they're making it look just like him, even down to his bald head and little goatee. Lex is standing there watching them work. He's wearing one of those robes that scientists sometimes wear, and he's got one of those fancy pointy helmets on. I think maybe it's supposed to be like a PhD thing. I don't really know, but Lex is like, this is going to be beautiful. Then suddenly, we hear a loud crash, and everyone looks up to see a massive monster destroying half of Lex's statue. The monster roars, which freaks everyone out. But Lex isn't having it. He doesn't like that his statue is being destroyed, so he goes inside and comes out with one of those big red buttons that says do not press. So he presses it, and suddenly the ground beneath the monster shakes, and Lex says, get out of here, you filthy animal. Then we see a bunch of Lex bots come out of the ground and start attacking the monster, except they're not really doing much damage. The monster keeps roaring and causing massive amounts of destruction, and Lex is starting to freak out. But then he sees an idea and starts recording a video. And he says, this is for everyone who thinks that Lex Luthor is selfish and only cares about himself. Just watch what I do next. Then he releases a gas that weakens the monster and makes it fall to its knees. And Lex is like, I told you I wasn't selfish. Then he sends his bots to inject the monster with a serum that will shrink it down to the size of an insect. But before they can do that, the monster destroys the control panel that controls the shrinking machine, and suddenly everything goes black. Back at the Fortress of Solitude, Brainiac is freaking out because the connection to his drone in Metropolis was cut, and Superman is getting worried, like, this does not sound good. So Superman says goodbye to his pal B and flies off to Metropolis. When Superman gets there, he finds out that Lex is in his secret underground lair, and they get into a fight, except Lex is like, whoa, Superman, you don't understand. If it wasn't for me, this monster would have killed thousands of people today. Superman was like, well, that's rich, Mr. Luthor, because you almost killed thousands of people yourself when you tried to shrink the monster. What if it didn't work? What if it exploded or something? Then Lex says, look, I don't want to fight you, Superman. We both know that you'll win, so let me make a deal with you. You leave me alone and Metropolis alone, and I'll make sure that this never happens again. But Superman's like, no. You know what, Lex, I think I am gonna take you into custody and put you away for a nice long time. So Lex is like, fine, be that way. But you'll regret this, Superman. You and everyone else on this planet will regret this. And then the lights go out, and when Superman turns them back on, Lex is gone. But he left behind a note that basically says, "You'll regret this, Superman," which, you know, typical Lex. Meanwhile, somewhere in the sewers, we see that the monster was able to escape Superman and change back into a human. Except it's not just any human, it's none other than John Jones, aka John Jones, aka, and he's like, "I gotta say, that was a close one, but I'm glad that I was able to help save Metropolis." Now back at the fight, Superman picks up the phone and calls Batman and tells him that he needs backup because he is dealing with a monster that can change shape and seems to be connected to Lex Luthor somehow. And Batman's like, "Sure, whatever." Then suddenly, John Jones changes back into his Martian form and grabs Superman and tries to squeeze the life out of him. But Superman is too strong, and he throws John away, who crashes into a wall and reverts back to human form. Superman was like, "That's it, no more Mr. Nice Guy," and he starts punching Martian Manhunter over and over again. And I mean, he's just throwing him around like a rag doll. Martian Manhunter starts to revert back into his Martian form. Superman stops and asks him what's happening, and Martian Manhunter explains that he was sent back in time to stop the destruction of Krypton, but he failed, and as a last resort, he injected himself with a serum that would allow him to hide his Martian appearance under a disguise until he could find a way to reverse the process. But then he encountered Lex Luthor, who offered him a deal. He would help Martian Manhunter change back if Martian Manhunter helped him build a monster to destroy Metropolis. And Superman was like, "Oh no, that's so sad." Then he punches Martian Manhunter some more, but Martian Manhunter is like, wait. But Superman just keeps punching him and eventually knocks him out cold. The next day, Superman is hanging upside down in Lex's office, and Batman shows up and asks him what the heck he's doing. Superman tells Batman what happened and that Lex is missing. But then Batman finds a hidden button and presses it, and a trap door opens, and Lex's chair falls into it. And Batman says, well, look who finally decided to show up. Then Batman and Superman team up and they take Lex down together, and that's the end of the comic. So yeah, it was a fun one. I like how they used John Jones. I mean, Martian Manhunter hasn't been used a lot in comics, especially in recent years, so I was happy to see him get some love. Also, I like the idea of Lex building a statue of himself, like that's such a villain thing to do. But overall, I thought it was a solid issue. Like, the art was great, the story was fun. I mean, it's definitely worth a read. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.